Before we start work building out our login form, I want to take a small aside in order to improve a part of the register form, specifically where we're handling errors. So at the moment, within the form, if we have an error, we're displaying just a simple error div. So I'm going to manually cause an error by changing our register mutation to have an invalid data type to indicate that the username string is not required. So when that happens, when we try registering a new user, we're going to get returned to us our shared folder, head to error.js. We're going to build out an error component that we can use across our application. So what we want to happen whenever we get an error is we want to display a little snack bar, a kind of small dialog that tells the user the error, that an error took place. So back within error.js, we're going to uncomment our component. And we'll import our error component up at the top. So we'll import error, and that's going to come from one folder up, so /shared/error. Then we need to swap out our placeholder div with the text error for the error component. And to display our error message, we need to pass through the error object as a prop. So let's add an error prop on the error component, pass through error, and then within the props of the error component, within the destructured props, we can grab the error that we passed through, and then it can be displayed in our snack bar with the message prop. And in particular, we want to get the message that comes from this error object. You can see within GraphQL error that there's a message property. So to message, we can just pass error.message. Now the way that we're displaying our error message is we're using a conditional, but we also want the ability to close the error, to provide on the error snack bar a close button so it can be removed. We'll add to our error component a piece of state. So once again, we'll need to use state. We'll import use state. And our one piece of state is going to be an open property, an open value that by default is going to be set to true. So by default, the snack bar is going to be open, since we're handling that, the visibility of it with our conditional. But when we want to close it, we can use the setOpen setter in order to set this open value to false. So just like for dialog components, snack bars take an open prop, which is what we're going to pass open to, and they also accept an action prop, where we can add a component, and we'll use a button. This will be our close button, and on it we'll have the color secondary and size set to small. We want to add an onClick to our close button to hide our snack bar, to turn open to false. So we'll just write another inline arrow function where setOpen will be passed the value of false. Now let's head back to our register component, and I'm going to re-add the exclamation point so that we have a valid mutation to our username variable. But to cause an error with the mutation upon registering, I'm going to head to the network, and I'm going to disconnect the network or turn it offline so we have no network connection. And let's see what happens when we try registering just with any credentials. When we hit register, we should get our error returned to us. And we see that there was a network error, failed to fetch. And when we hit the close button, our snack bar is removed. And when the network is back online and we hit register, we can successfully create a new account. So now we have some better error handling with the help of this custom error component, and we'll be using it across our app for all of our queries and mutations.